In accordance with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, this channel is not to be viewed by children under the age of discretion is advised. Back to Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. Last we left off, we completed the sinking ship, we deposed the Rat King, and also saved the inhabitants of it, and gave Gobbet some closure. Now, we came back home, and kindly Cheng decided to call us, basically telling us she's got intel. So let's go speak to her. If you like what you guys see, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay notified. Let's get into it. So, let's go talk to Kindly. If it's anything about the plastic face man, it definitely is going to be a bit interesting. Ah, there is everyone. We still got Gaichu's mission to deal with, but Kindly Cheng is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents in a pile on our mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a box of her thin black cigars, an assortment of individually wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electrical tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good, you're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them to the floor. It seems like forever since we last saw each other. Welcome back. Was your trip worthwhile? Her voice is filled with a rusty energy. Yes, my darling, yes. I met with several contacts within my network who referred me to others in neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that some things be handled face to face. I have returned with information that will lead you to the plastic-faced man, the man who killed Raymond Black. Excellent. While you were gone, we uncovered a relationship between Josephine Tseng and Raymond Black. The tribe woman's eyes narrow. Did you? And what is it that you uncovered? We've been lied to all this time. Wu and me. Raymond Black is actually Edward Tseng. Raymond Black is Josephine's son. Her brow furrows. Yes, you were lied to. For a long time. It explains where he went when he disappeared years ago. Seattle. What happened? I don't know. Just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city. That was in the early 30s. Her face twists into a mask of disgust. You realize what this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man. We found out everything operations off the books and away from the public eye. The plastic-faced man is their shadowy right hand outside of the corporation. Cheng doesn't bother with the glass. She takes a long pull off the stinking bottle and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. And I know how to find him too. I've made contact with an information broker, Zhao Ji, who works out of an abandoned night market in Shepkeep May called the Xing House Court. It's hard to find. She takes another pull on the bottle. Zhao Ji has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary. Where he'll be, who he'll be with, what sort of security he'll have, the works. She grins glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction. Grab him and find out what he knows. Did you find out why Lee has a face made of plastic? I apologize for the internet quality. There's going to be a bit of a storm hitting soon. It's not just his face. Lee Tai Lung's entire skull is synthetic. Ew. He's designed. It allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so that they can be erased upon the completion of a job. And as an added security measure, this cortical implant will wipe his memory if it detects that he's been captured. Seriously? You can just wipe out everything having to do with Tseng Mechanical Services? It's all part of his branding, apparently. Unless you can find a way around the cortical implant, you'll have no way to extract the information he has to figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her index finger. Now, I've done my part in this, my darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Isabel interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I've heard of something like this before. I met someone in the Matrix who had to shirk a similar mind wipe implant once. It was required for a big job and she pulled it. It was Dreamland and I know where to find her. All that we have to do is convince her to give up the secret and how she did it. Okay, Isabel and I will go see Dreamland before we hit the information broker. Then we grab the plastic face man. No matter who you choose to help you snatch this guy, I'm gonna be there when you extract the information about him from him about Raymond. Who crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head towards you. You got that, Shen? We should all be there. Galvet's eyebrows arched high. I know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. And listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? The Triad boss taps the table with her finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Conley Cheng's operations, with Conley Cheng's people. Josephine takes Nightjar, I take her plastic-faced man. Once you snatch the plastic-faced man, Tseng will know something is happening, and events will unfold very quickly after that. You best close out any pressing business you have before heading to Shep Kik Mei to seek Xiao Zi. You understand? Got it. I'll check my Mr. Computer to see if I have any jobs I want to knock out before I hit the MTR for Shep Kik Mei. Business is business, my darling. Conley Cheng raps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. And business has been very good since you arrived. Well, looks like we know what we gotta do. If we go for the plastic-faced man, that's the point of no return. So that means we gotta take care of all our missions first. But before we do that, we got some karma to spend. Let's see. Let's go for... Let's go for corporate, since I know we're going to be needing it soon. Alright, and... let's keep the karma for now. Let's go talk to everyone. I know we've spoken to Conley Cheng, we need to go speak to a lot of people. We also gotta speak to Gobet. But first, let's go and speak to, Crafty. There she is. So not really much going on this week. Back so soon? Tell me what you need and I'll see what I can do. Think you can send me a copy of those notes? Crafty taps her finger to her nose. Already a step ahead of you. I just finished digitally transcribing the information. I'll send it your way. She looks around the book cover shop as soon as I find my terminal. Thanks, Crafty. You're welcome. Expect them soon. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same. Yep, this is basically the same stuff. I thought we asked about getting the transcripts. Alright. Let's go to the computer and talk to Gobet. See how she's doing after the sinking ship incident. And Isabel, too. But first, Miss Computer. More notes. St. John, while I was blazing through my mom's journal, something struck me. We spent so much time reading about the walled city that we haven't thought to look at it, to paint a picture of with the information we've been gathering. So I contacted a friend of mine, Riley, at Decker, and asked her to pull some data for me. Results were surprising, and for what it's worth, I think we're onto something. Riley took up records of things like reported sleep disturbances, psychotic breaks, HKPF responses to cold activities, etc. She found that all form a classic bullseye heat pattern around the walled city. She couldn't find anything data from within the walled city itself, but the outside data was still enough to establish a pattern inside the slum. This has got to be more than a coincidence. It's too unnatural to be attributed to anything else. I don't know what it means yet, but I've got my nose in the books. I'll let you know what I find. One other thing, that last email I sent you, the one from with Mom's notes, I went ahead and reread it, and that took me back to the source text. I was able to pull something else from her list. This isn't much, but it seems to be pretty consistent across her ramblings. If I'm reading this right, it's kind of like a set of rules that govern the interactions of the Allah Kings. It's surprisingly bureaucratic if I'm reading it right. The most interesting tidbit is this. There's something here about the Kings being unable to back down in a deal. It's like if they give an inch, they'll forfeit everything. From what I'm reading, the Yama Kings have their own code of laws. but they don't have to follow them unless you know how to call them out on it. Like, they break the rules all the time, but if you can't cite chapter and verse on which rule they're breaking, it doesn't matter to them. Approach from a place of wisdom, though, and you can bind them with their own laws. Anyway, this is all really arcane stuff, but I think that there might be something here. I can't vouch for any of it, obviously. When you take a step back, it all sounds like crazy talk. But one thing I can tell you for certain, my mother believed it was true. If anything comes up, you'll be the first to know. So if we offer them a counter deal, they have to accept it. And they forfeit everything to do it. Sounds easy enough to me. Okay. Let's claim the payday for the Ares research. Not bad. Keywords. Explosions in Eastern District? What's up with all these explosions rocking the Eastern District? My walls were just shaking. Word has that Shawase has a secret lab tucked away in an old industrial building out here. I'm guessing the rumor's true. Correction. I think Shawase had a lab out here. It gets really stinking where I'm at. It's a cross between sulfur and weirdly new car smell. What are they doing? Better put on your gas mask for good measure, man. Decker looking for team. Experienced Decker looking for teams to run with. Potential for long-term arrangement. I've taken over the business interests of a team of runners running basic heists and an occasional transport gig. I'm in contact with a reliable fixer and will be working with the old team's long list of happy clients. Requirements. You must not take experimental stims during runs. You must not tamper with chemicals in secret labs. You must know how to properly operate a moped. You must listen to your Decker when your Decker says, I don't have control of that turret yet. You must have a good sense of humor. Optional. Shenzing Zhou. Oh my god, the rest of the team's dead. Hey, what happened to give me some UN 888? I recognize this ad. It's his boilerplate. The team was always looking for a new Decker. What the hell happened? You see that fourth item on the requirements list? Oh shit, that's nuts. Are all of them gone? Muffin Top Ninja? Captain Scone? All of them. Even Explodey Sue. I got to know them, but they were good people. What a terrible loss. You had no idea who you were running the shadows with, huh? Explodey was a great war hero, tough as nails. Could have tipped the scales for Taiwan if she hadn't knocked herself out with the force of her own mana blast at a crucial moment. No shit. It gets better. Muffin Top Ninja was one of the most revered martial arts masters in JIS until his health began to fail. He was well known for his self-deprecating humor. And Gimme Some UN 888 was a great philanthropist. Every crate he earned, he poured back into helping the indigent population of the walled city where he grew up. And Captain Scone? I kinda chuckled at his name, but now I'm thinking there's more to it. I'll say, he was a Scottish separatist who campaigned tirelessly for the restoration of his country. When his activism drew too many enemies, he fled and became a pillar of the Scottish anti-expat community in Hong Kong. As for his name, I think Stone of Scone. These amazing people just couldn't catch a break, and now this. Rip. I'm mortified. Wish I'd gotten to know them better. Wish I'd gotten that turret down faster. Seems like you knew them very well, then. I suppose so. I'm a Decker who responded to one of their first stats. My gut said not to join them, but we developed a lot of mutual respect over the years. Never thought I'd live to see one of their Deckers live. I never lived to see one of their Deckers live. Well, although it would make two Deckers, I don't suppose you like to team up? I don't think so, no. Man! Those guys sounded kick-ass! Shame they're all dead. Alright, let's go talk to Duncan. Duncan? The clinky of metal followed by grunts from hard exercise erupt from the hatchway of Wu's cabin. The first thing you notice when you enter is the renewed cleanliness. The food cans are gone and his equipment is neatly laid out and his jumping jacks and grabs the towel off his bunk. His exposed flesh gleams with perspiration. Hey. Hey, D. Can you see all right? Hey, how's it going? Better. He scrubs his sweaty head with the towel. I let myself wallow for a while, but now it's time to turn things around. We have work to do. Can you see the stream? There was a bit of cut. There was a bit of an internet cut like a bit ago. I mean, near the start. I apologize for that. It's just gonna snow in about an hour. What's your deal? Still thinking about Edward Cheng? He rubs the towel under his arms. Compartmentalized him. Okay, good. Edward Cheng is a topic in a file cabinet in my head. I'm only thinking about Raymond now. Finding out what happened to him. What really happened to him. Take it in a moment at a time, huh? That's me, Mr. Focus. Continue stretching. We're getting close to the plastic-faced man, Duncan. I know. I haven't stopped thinking about him since we first saw him in that video. The one where he attacked Raymond in the tea house. He wipes down one side of his neck with the towel, folds it, wipes down the other side. Listen, Chen, I'm not gonna press you to take me with you when you head him out, when you have to snatch him. You take the right people for the job and then you get the job done, okay? But I want to be there when you can interrogate him. I want to hear what he has to say with my own ears. You gonna have a problem with that? As long as the extraction team remains my decision, I have no trouble with you being at the interrogation. Very generous of you. He flashes his pearly whites. Like I said, you can take me with you on the run or not. It's your call, but I intend to be there for the fun part. Easy, Duncan. This is about Raymond, not hurting people for kicks. Knock off the easy Duncan crap, Chen. I'm not doing anything for kicks. This is the guy who knows what the hell is going on. The one who may have killed Raymond. And I'm gonna squeeze him until I find out what he knows. Just promise me that you'll be able to control yourself. Otherwise, we are gonna have a problem. This is Raymond we're talking about. Wu drops his hands to his sides and closes the gap between you. His voice is calm, sober, deliberate. I'm not gonna screw this up, I promise. You told me that you would resemble when I took off, but maybe it was about how Raymond handled that thing with Doubletray. Nah, it was about you disappearing for 8 years without a word, but we're past that now. Wu pulls his right elbow across his chest with his left hand, gets a good stretch. But that was a messed up night. A lot of things happened, and I wouldn't be surprised if some, I don't know, emotions got jumbled together. About the fight with Raymond? Yeah, mostly. We butted heads before. I've broken plenty of his rules in the past, but I never see him so disappointed. Still not sure why. Why don't we walk through it from the beginning? Start with when Lockjaw showed up at Ray's house. Wu pulls his left elbow across his chest and lets out a low groan. So this was 2045. Years after the summer we moved in with Raymond. We hadn't seen DT or Lockjaw or any of the gang in forever. Raymond's rules. No contact with our hoodlum friends. No visiting the squad to check up on them. We weren't even allowed to see that Aslan family and their dog. Your past is just a story. If you can accept that, your past loses all power over you. Wu wrinkles his nose. You don't sound anything like him. The way I remember it, we woke up in the middle of the night and there was Lockjaw standing in our room, covered in blood. My first thought was that Raymond was gonna kill us. Can you imagine? There was a teenage Salish Indian covered in blood in our bedroom, and my first thought was I might get in trouble for it. Raymond was an intimidating guy when we were young. Isn't that weird? I towered over him and it just didn't matter. The little man just had that way of looking at you, that tone. Wu thrusts his elbow behind him, twists at the waist. So Lockjaw's bleeding all over our bedroom and you whisper, yelling, "Where's DT? What happened to Doubletray?" 5 minutes later, we were dressed in black and on our way back to the Barrens. We had to. Of course. If it wasn't for Doubletray, neither of us would be here right now. DT was the one who took us to the teen center, introduced us to Raymond. Man, that was a messed up night. The 162s had overrun the Leary squad, better positioned to take on the nukes. Bunzo and Tusk were bleeding out. The Hernandez family was half eaten. And little Joe, that streetwalker with the electric false eyelashes, was lying on the floor in 2 parts. But we got Double Trey out alive. He was the only one, though. Wu stares at his boot. You can still hear Lockjaw screaming as the ghouls took him down. When the 162s wanted something they did not play. Anyway, all of that was just a lead-up. He lets out a long, slow breath. But still, it speaks to my state of mind that night. Why I wouldn't back down when Raymond met us at the door. Neither one of you would budge. We both had the strength of the righteous. You and I had broken his rules out of loyalty, out of gratitude. You just didn't get that. You never understood where we came from. And now we know why. He wasn't just some do-gooder who took in some street kids. He was a rich guy used to getting his way. That's what made him so furious. I don't know, Duncan. I think maybe it's because we thought... That's the way I kind of see it too, honestly. But you were able to get him to calm down and see reason. Get him to see my side of the story. All you said was that one thing, that one thing. That thing he said his mother used to say to him when he was being obstinate. What the hell was it? Most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Wu nods his head, remembering. Yeah, that intent to reply thing really got to him. He saw that every time I was talking, he was thinking about the next thing to say back. Using his mother's words on him really did the trick. I wonder what kind of childhood he had. He rubs his chin. But the way he looked at you after that, I know. Crazy. He was furious with you, but all I did is cuddle his mother and I got the big chill. Maybe he's got his mommy issues. Ru chuckles humorously. And who knows? Maybe I got a few daddy issues to deal with too. Guess I should try and keep an open mind when I see him. We'll talk later. Anytime. Okay, that stuff about Wu and that stuff about the Yama Kings, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna need it. Oh right, we gotta do this. Wall of fire. Ooh. Let's go with this. Plague barrier. Reactor, firearm systems, or melee systems. Melee. Let's go with ghoul. Okay, compression, shock baton. Ooh. Let's go with this. And Isabel, Cybernetic Bright Eye System. Capable of temporarily blinding an opponent. If user is brought to a stunned state, they will be jolted awake with 1 AP. Let's get that. And I think next one is the mini launcher and pain suppression. That's actually useful. Alright. St. John, you're back. She was about returning. Need something? I got a question about the Walt City. Oh, okay, nothing? Any thoughts about that last run? You know what drives me crazy about Gabe? She does shit like this all the time. She doesn't think about anything. Not about the risk she takes, the consequences of her actions, or how her behavior can hurt her friends. She just jumps headfirst into whatever crazy scheme she's got in her head, and damn everything else. Maybe after all this, she'll finally learn a lesson. I have to say, I didn't expect to get off the sinking ship without blowing it apart. I really was on setting the fire to a whole contraption and letting it burn. We really pulled all the stops. Can't believe we had to face down some kind of rat demon god thing, but we did. I'm sure there's a lesson in there somewhere, but I'll be damned if I know what it is. Alright. She's good. Gob. Let's talk. Step into Goblet's cap and you find her crouching on the floor. She appears to be midway through a valiant struggle against an enormous pastry. Her cheeks bulge out like a chipmunk's and wispy threads of pork floss hang from her crumb-speckled lips. She glances up at you, her eyes wide with alarm. Oof. Her jaw works to manage the enormous quantity of crispy dough in her mouth, but she doesn't seem to be making any much headway. Bit enough more than you could chew, huh? She struggles to move her jaw, but her mouth is stuffed too full for her to make much headway. She gestures feebly toward a pitcher of water on the ground near your feet. Let's give it to her. She tilts back the pitcher and sucks down its contents. As the water pours into her mouth, she's slowly able to work through the food stored in her cheeks. Finally, she lowers the water pitcher, coughing. Okay, yeah, note to self. The pastry terrace on Prince Edward Road makes them dry. She takes another swig of her front pitcher, grimacing. Moist green apple and jelly trotter my ass. That thing was like a desert made of pig. Maybe you shouldn't try cram the entire thing in your mouth at once. I was challenging myself for science. It wasn't the whole pastry, it was just half of one. She lifts the remaining pastry for your inspection. The pork floss that coats its exterior looks almost festive. It's more reminiscent of a beige, curly tinsel than it is food. You want the rest? I'll take it. She blinks in surprise. Really? Sure then. It's all yours, your catch. She tosses the remaining pastry in the air. It sails through the air, glistening suggestively in the dim cabin light. Catch it? You snatch the flying pork brick out of the air. It's surprisingly dense, with a heft roughly equivalent to that of a softball. Eat it. You raise the pastry to your lips and take a bite. Seconds later, you can feel all of the moisture in your mouth evaporate. Gaba wasn't lying. This thing is dry. The flavor is surprisingly palpable, though. She blinks at you in astonishment. Huh. Can't believe you ate that. I'm impressed. If I ever get another one of those again, I'm gonna let it sit in a bowl of condensed milk for at least half an hour before I try putting it in my mouth. That might help. I don't know, reconstitute it, I guess? I don't know, it might work. Anyway, you probably want to talk about what happened on the raft, huh? I think that in your place I would. Any thoughts about that last run? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, it's kind of a big deal, you know? We already said pretty much everything there is to be said, though, haven't we? I mean, it's not like we didn't go over this already, with the important lessons about responsibility and all that. Let's talk about the sinking ship. Yeah, she sighs. You do that. First off, I should thank you. You and Iz came to help me, even though I didn't ask you to, or want you to. Actually, maybe I should be upset about that, but the important thing is that you did help me. I'm not gonna say that I couldn't have handled it without you, but it would have been really, really dicey. You can say that again. The situation on that raft was pretty bad. She nods grimly. Yeah, it was definitely that. On the bright side, we overthrew Malvina and put the raft back in Cat's hands. That feels pretty great, and the shiny object is at the bottom of Hung Hom Bay, lodged in a bank of silt and crab shit. That's pretty much where it belongs. But I gotta admit, something is gnawing at me. Before you and Iz showed up, I was gonna sink the raft. I got halfway through arming the charges and I was gonna send the whole sinking ship down in flames. Everyone in it would have died. Cad and Yassim, all of them. All because I made up my mind early and didn't want to change it. It kinda makes me think, how many times before now have I done what seemed like the right thing? You know, followed my gut like I taught you, without realizing that there was a better option? This whole introspection thing kinda sucks, I gotta say. She looks up at you, scowling. It's much more comfortable just assuming all of my past decisions were right. Sure it is. It's intellectually dishonest, but it's definitely comforting. She bites her lower lip. Yeah, you know, see how you aren't helping my mood any. I'm kind of having a tough time over here. She begins to pace, kicking piles of dirty clothes and blankets out of the way, thrusting her hands into her pockets. She fishes out Madison Folly and tosses her onto her cot. I don't do this very often. Reflecting is for mirrors. Wranglers deal with feeling this way. By hand wranglers, do you mean people who learn from their mistakes? I guess, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really do this kind of thing. So tell me what to do next. What comes after this? After you've suffered through your embarrassment for a while, you try to learn something from it. Huh. Your way is boring, Seattle, and it's complicated, and it comes with way too many bad feelings. She scowls. But yeah, I get it. There's probably even some value there. I'm never going to start second guessing everything that I do, though. That just isn't me. Maybe you should start second guessing some things when new information presents itself. What a novel concept. Yes, yeah, I can do that, and I will from now on. Cross my heart. Anyway, things turned out the way that they did. I don't know what might have happened if we tried to do something different, but but there's one thing that I can say for certain. Things are better in Hong Kong Bay than they were before we went to the sinking ship. It isn't good out there. That's something. Yeah, it is. Oh, actually, there are two things that I can say for certain. I think Rat is happy that the shiny the same marbled red jade that the shiny object was. Check it out. She gave me a present. Where did that come from? From Rat. Like I said, she literally gave it to me. Put it right in the palm of my hand. I had a vision. It had colorful lights, dancing rodents, the works. And when the world came back into focus, I was holding this magic marble. She tosses the stone into the air and catches it with her other hand. Now, I don't know quite how it works yet, but I'm sure that it does something. I mean, it has to, right? Rat wouldn't just give me a normal rock. She's a trickster after all, but that'd be mean. So mark my words, the next time we're in the field, something magical is going to happen. I mean, literally magical. It'll be a journey of discovery for both of us. I'll be looking forward to it. Me too, and thank you, Seattle. I really, really mean that. You can fly by my side anytime. Thanks, Gobbet. Well, we did a whole lot of catch up here, but I'm going to go ahead and call it for today right now. So far, we did good. We did some more talking. We at least learned a bit more about the Yama Kings. We talked to Duncan about learning how to defuse the situation with Raymond. That's going to become important later on, I definitely know it. We still got to talk to Raptor, and we got to handle Gaichu. We also got to talk to everyone else. If there is anything to talk to. I think the COPPA family definitely has something to talk about. Yeah, it's cool, D. I mean, it's cool like you didn't speak much. Honestly, I wanted to speak a bit more, but there was a lot more dialogue this episode. Hopefully the storm doesn't mess up the processing when it comes to this stream. Hopefully. Anyway, I'm Dragon King Mark, and next time on Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong, we're going to go ahead and speak to everyone else, and then we're going to probably handle Gaichu's mission. Once we get the loyalty of everyone down, we're going to wrap up the remaining missions, and then we're going to take out the Plastic Face Man. After that, who knows? If you like what you all saw, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to stay notified. And I'll see all of you next time. Laters.